Okay, so in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create this handle here. So if I hide the plastic cup, I'm going to show you how to make this, which is actually quite complex. In the process you'll learn how to create planes at tangent, how to project bodies from other sketches, how to offset, and how to split the body. So let's go ahead and just hide body 2 so we can start from the beginning. Now one thing that's really important here is that we align the plastic cup so it is on the Z plane and the center of the cup lines up with this axis here, the green axis. So the way that we're going to do that is that we're going to take this body here, and we're going to use this arrow and this arrow to make sure that we are 100% that it's not in the right place. Then we're going to use the Align tool, which is under the Modify drop-down menu, to pick up the center of the bottom of the cup by doing that. Then we're going to orbit round, and we're going to pick up the center there. So now it's aligned it directly above, and we're going to press OK. Now we're going to repeat that to make sure that the bottom of the cup is sitting on this ZY plane here. So Modify drop-down menu, Align, and we're going to pick up the bottom of the cup there, and we're going to put it here. Make sure that you are orbiting round like I just did there. Press OK, and now we know that that is in the correct position. So now we're going to create a sketch, but we're going to create a sketch on this plane here, and we're going to project all the geometries into this new sketch so that we can snap to them, and those geometries can drive our new sketch. So create, drop down menu, project, come to project. Now it defaults to specified entities, which might be a line or a corner, but if we select bodies and just select that whole body, press OK, what that means is that we can come over to body 1, hide it, and we can still see all the geometries that were there, and that's important because we're going to reference those now. So under Modify drop-down menu, we're going to use Offset, or we could have done O keyboard shortcut, and we're going to pick up, let's say we're going to pick up this line here. We're going to press Shift, this one here, and this line here. So you can see that we picked up 3 sketch curves, and we're going to offset it by minus 0.5, which we want 0.5 millimeter away from the cup because there would be a gap. Going to press OK. Then we're going to repeat that process by pressing O on our keyboard shortcut, and we're going to pick up those 3 sketch curves that we had before. Now with Fusion, for some reason, you can only offset the original geometries. You can't offset something that has been offset. Just a minor thing, but if you don't know, it can be really frustrating. So we're going to just drag this out. Let's go for -3. Okay. Now we need to close off our profile here, and we're going to do that by using the arc tool, the 3-point arc tool. You can use the circle tool, but starting point, end point, and then the amount of the curve. That comes about there. It's great, and we could add fillets in here just to make that a little bit nicer. Press enter to come out of that function, and then at the bottom here we need to make sure that we don't come over this little knobby part here, so we're going to press L for keyboard shortcut line, and I'm just going to snap on that and come down to here. Now I've done that on purpose without it being at a right angle to show how you can use your constraints in your ribbon at the top. So I need to say I'm selecting the constraint, and I'm saying this line needs to be perpendicular to that line, and it does it automatically for me. Then I'm going to press T to trim, and then I'm going to use the fillet command, that corner and that corner there. So I don't have to do it twice, I can just click and press enter. So now we should have our closed profile, and we can see it's a closed profile, and it's quite interesting geometries going on there. So now I'm going to finish that sketch, use my Revolve, which is found under the Create drop-down menu. I'm going to pick up that profile, and it's asking me for an axis, and I'm going to orbit round and say that's the axis that I want there. Press OK. So now we've got the ring that goes over the cup, and we know that that fits perfectly because we've used the cup's geometries to drive the holder. I'm going to hide that just so that we can focus more on what we're looking at. So now we want to draw on this surface here. But if we were to come to create sketch, you can see that it's not going to let us do that. It will let us use any of these planes down here. It might even, no, it's not going to let us use anything here because they're all curved surfaces. So I'm going to press Control Z there. So the way that we can do that is we can press Construct, drop-down menu to tangent at a plane. So it asks us for the face that we want to create the plane on. And we can create an angle we don't want it to be. And we're going to press OK. So now we're able to sketch on this surface here. Now it's aligned it perfectly so that we have a reference point here. So we're going to use the create drop-down menu, we're going to use rectangle, but we're going to use the center rectangle function, which allows us to snap onto that, and then we can drag it out. But I want it to snap to the bottom of this little edge here and the edge at the top, and you can see that it's not letting us do that at the moment. So if I go to create drop-down menu, project, include, project, but this time, instead of bodies, I want specific entities, and I'm going to choose this part here, and this part here. Press OK. So now rectangle tool, center rectangle, snap into the middle, and it allows me to snap to there and at the top. And I'm going to make that 30. No, I'm not. I'm going to delete that. Oh, there we go. Back. That's better. Press OK, finish the sketch. Now I'm going to extrude that out, use my view cube. So you can see now it's perfectly on that face there. And I'm going to drag this out. And press OK. Next thing I want to do is just to create that little handle part there where the hand would go. So now I've got a surface, a flat surface I can draw on, and I'm going to use the Spline Tool. I'm going to use the second option here, so it allows me to snap on. Press OK, and we've got a closed profile. I'm just going to turn that body on there. Yeah, there we go. Just to make sure that it wasn't intersecting or was too long there. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to offset that so that we've got a hole for the hand to go through. And I'm going to take all of those and drag it down just a little bit, maybe 2 millimeters. And I'm going to see whether or not I can fill it out at the top. Lovely. Finish sketch, and now I'm going to extrude this profile so it's the same thickness. One way that I can do it, I can remember what thickness I put in there. In my case, that's going to be very unlikely. Or I could drag it out and eyeball it. That's not the best way to do it. Or I can drag it out, orbit round, and then just tap on that surface, and it will snap to it. And that, press OK. So now we've got our handle here. One last thing I'm going to do is just curve that there because that's quite ugly. A couple of ways that I can do it. I could either sketch on here and sketch a line, or I could use the fillet command. So let's just use the fillet command which is quicker, and select that edge there and drag it down. Just click on the side there so I can see better what I'm doing, and that looks good to me. Okay, one last thing that I want to show you is how to split the body. So we've done plane at tangent, we've projected geometries, we've used the offset tool, but I want to split the body. So I'm going to hide body 1. Now I can see that I've made some mistakes here, because when I extruded here, I had new body. I don't want new body, I want it to join. You can see now it's come down. So great. So there's my cup. There's my holder. Brilliant. Now I'm going to hide the cup because I only want the next function to happen to the handle. I don't want it to happen to the cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to construct an offset plane from here. Drag that out. And if I go from the top, actually, I should be able to see where I put that. Yeah, that's good. So all I want is a surface to draw on. So now I'm going to draw on here, and I'm going to draw Spline Tool again, because what I want to do is create a little interesting feature here. So at the moment I'm just drawing on that work plane I just created, but I'm going to use this as a splitting tool. So that's why it doesn't need to be a closed profile. Finish the sketch. Hopefully this is in the correct position. We will soon find out. Okay, so under the Modify drop-down menu, I have the option to split a body. It asks me for two things. One, the body to split, which in this case is that body, and the splitting tool. So I select that, and then I choose that line. And you can see it's extended all the way through. So when I press OK, I will be given another body. So I'll have 4 bodies. Oop, even more. So because it's split there. Okay, no problem. So I want to hide 8, 7, 6. There we go. Okay. So now we've got a little bit more interesting feature. And you could go in here if you wanted to and fillet these or put a chamfer on it. So now let's put everything back together. There's body 1. Use my view cube. I'm going to turn off my origin because it's, oops, body 1, there we go. So now we've got our cup, some quite complex geometries going on there.